Hi, friends. Welcome back to another episode of Elevate with Erica. I'm your host, Erica, and today we have an exciting topic to dive into: embracing authenticity, honoring your true self, and living your truth. Now, before we jump in, I do want to say that this episode does basically tie up the last two episodes that I released. So I really like to produce my episodes as life is happening. This is like a come with me kind of podcast. And, I don't like recording 10 episodes in one day because doing it the way I do allows me to bring you guys along on the journey, on things that I'm going through, things that I'm experiencing them as I'm experiencing them. And then I get to create an episode like this, and I'm on the other side of it, and I get to share with you what I learned from the experience. So recently, you may have heard that I had the opportunity to attend a work conference in beautiful, hot AF San Antonio. Now, this was a significant moment for me. And we went over all the details of why in the last episode. So go check that out if you missed it, because we get in the nitty gritty of doing things that make you get a little uncomfortable. It was a really powerful episode, and I heard back from a lot of you on it. So yeah, go check it out if you missed it. So this was a significant trip for me because it was the first time I attended a work conference with just my team and without the crutch of my husband by my side. So it was a chance for me to step out of my comfort zone and truly embrace the experience. And one of the things that made this trip even more unique was the fact that I shared a hotel room with women I had never met in person before. Now, I know what you might be thinking, because I probably would have thought the same a few years ago. Sharing a room with strangers, maybe a little awkward, but let me tell you, it turned out to be an amazing experience. And I've been building a business alongside those two women that I shared the room with online. So virtually, we had been connecting. And a quick backstory in case you don't know what I do outside of podcasting: I'm a mindset and fitness coach who guides others through transforming their lives. And I also lead a team of partners who have chosen to join my team and broaden that impact. So these women said yes to joining my team based on only meeting me virtually, based on how I show up online, right? We connected, we laughed, we shared stories, we cried. And it hit me that our connection wasn't a result of chance or luck. The reason why we connected so well right from the start was because I showed up as my authentic self on social media. I didn't try to be someone I'm not or pretend to have it all figured out, whether that be life or career. I simply embraced who I am, embraced where I'm at in my career and what I'm working to build and why I'm working to build it. And I share that with the world every day. And you know what? That attracted business partners who I genuinely enjoyed traveling with. I remember when I first started my business, someone gave me a valuable piece of advice: don't try to attract everyone. Recruit people for your team who you would want to vacation with. And I think you can basically apply that to life. Recruit people into your life, attract people into your life that you genuinely want to be friends with, that you would just very willingly go spend a week in San Antonio with. It sounds simple, but it's a game changer. All I had to do was be myself. And you know what's been truly amazing about my social media experience? It has provided a platform where I can authentically be myself and not worry about trying to please everyone. I don't need a million followers. I want genuine connections with people who I would genuinely want to be friends with. I've had people ask how I'm not affected by nasty comments and DMs from internet trolls or bots or whatever they call them these days, or tell me how they're worried about how their friends or family will think if they start showing more of their life and their authentic selves on social media. And you know what? That week in San Antonio with those two women in our traditional 2-queen bed hotel room is proof that the jabs from trolls mean nothing. Being judged by people for being who you are has more to do with them than with you. And it's kind of nice to drop all the relationships that weren't built on the foundation of them accepting who you really are. Meeting them in person didn't feel like the first time. We already knew so much about each other. We were already so interested in one another. And I was literally rooting for them before I met them as they were for me. These two genuine connections and the time spent with them was more enjoyable for me than friendships, relationships I've had in the past based on me trying to be who I thought they wanted me to be or who I thought I needed to be liked by them. I got to just be me and know that that was enough. And there's just nothing quite like that feeling. There have been times in my life when I just wanted to be accepted by any and everyone. And still today, sometimes I struggle with wanting to feel accepted by family and my husband's friends. I don't care so much about strangers anymore. It's when I'm in a more intimate setting that I get really anxious about doing and saying the right thing. It's not uncommon for me to leave an event like that criticizing myself. But this is something I'm working on. And that's why I'm sharing it with you guys. I know I'm never alone in something I struggle with. I just happen to be the one with a mic and telling the world. But that is why I so needed an experience like this in San Antonio as proof to myself that just being you is enough. And I want you to know that just being you is more than enough. And it's not enough to be you quietly. No. We thrive off connection, genuine connection. And I want to help you do the same. I want to help you be you a little louder. Find your people. Now let's get to the good part. I want to share with you 3 tips on how to show up authentically in both virtual, as in social media, and also in-person social settings. Know yourself. Take the time to understand who you truly are, your values, passions, and what makes you unique. When you have a strong sense of self, it becomes easier to embrace your authenticity. I think journaling can really help with this. Personal development books on confidence, self-esteem, or authenticity. Embracing a passion of yours is a great idea. Like if you love to dance or cook or play an instrument, do more of that. It'll bring out who you are naturally. Get yourself in rooms, be it in person or virtually, right? With people with values and passions similar to yours, just as like a practice to start embracing who you are too. Tip 2, embrace imperfections. Nobody is perfect, and that's what makes us human. So this requires letting go of judgment, letting go of the needs for everyone's approval, embracing your flaws, your quirks, and imperfections. They are part of your story and what makes you relatable and authentic to those who are meant to have a place in your life. My last episode went into a little more on this. So if this is one of your struggles, make sure you go listen to that one. Sharing about my divorce and starting my life over in love, career, and finances and battling co-parenting. It's all very imperfect parts of my life that led me to connecting with those 2 women in San Antonio. And that have led me to building countless connections like that through social media. I don't want to follow or be friends with someone who puts on this mask of having a perfect life. No one does. We are all here battling something. I don't connect with perfect, and I don't think you do either. And that works both ways, right? So if you pretend that you are perfect, no one can genuinely connect with you. Tip 3, share your story. Don't be afraid to open up and share your journey, experiences, and life lessons. By being vulnerable and authentic, you create connections with others who resonate with your story. And it kind of ties into tip 2 a little more, with a little bit more depth to it, right? Like versus just, tip 2 being embrace your imperfections. When we actually share our story, we're more talking along the lines of, why are you who you are today? I'm always interested by why people have the beliefs and the passions that they do. right? Because there's a story there. We all have opinions because we all have beliefs based on our individual life experiences. When you share your story, your life lessons, your ups and downs, you give other people permission to do the same and be a reminder to them that we aren't doing this alone. Little beautiful side effect there, right? So imagine what it would feel like once you attract relationships based on who you truly are and not who you think you have to be to have friends, right? It's liberating. You'll find yourself surrounded by people who accept you for who you are, who support your dreams, and who inspire you to be the best version of yourself. And by people, it may just be two. But you know what? Those two will be better than the 20 who you can't be yourself around. Those two will add more to your life than you could ever imagine. And they will lead you to accepting, embracing who you are. And you'll be amazed with what you will do with your life once you've done that. As we wrap up today's episode, remember, embracing authenticity is not only about being true to yourself, but it's also about attracting the right people into your life. So go out there, be unapologetically you, and watch as your connections and relationships flourish. Thank you for tuning in today. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe and leave me a review. Until next episode, friends, keep elevating and embracing your authentic self.